As we come here to Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California, the reigning champs grasping at straws to keep this season alive. Meanwhile, the opposition, Memphis 901, looking to punch their ticket to the USL Championship playoffs this season. Welcome one and all to the broadcast here on ESPN+. My name is Mark Schoenstert. Beside me is Devin Kerr as we look at the standings. Devin, with 3 points, Memphis can punch their ticket.
It's really simple, though. For Orange County, you're in a must-win. And yes, 901 FC can punch their ticket to the playoffs, but that's a foregone conclusion at this point in time. Yeah. What they have their sights set on is much bigger. Coming into the season, yeah, let's make the top 7. But as we've gone on, now we're trying to find a way to cement ourselves within the top 4. If you're Orange County, make or break was a long time ago. Bottom of the barrel with these games remaining. 3 points every single time out if you want a glimmer of postseason glory once again.
As we take a look at what's coming up for Orange County, you mentioned make or break earlier. Now it's practically asking for perfection.
It's partially broken, right?
Yeah.
And how do you pick up the pieces and put it all back together? The good news is they've got a tremendous amount of quality within their ranks. Yes, it's Milan Olowski, but it's so much more than that. Partita, Dylan Powers, Villanueva, Orozco, Rakowski in goal. The problem is they're facing stiff competition down the stretch. Sacramento Republic, the Hounds, El Paso Locomotive, not to be undone by September 15th on the road at San Antonio FC. One hopes their dream is still alive, and to keep that dream still alive, it's got to be Milan Olowski. 19 goals on the season and counting. That is currently your Golden Boot leader. Barring anything spectacular down the stretch, expect to see him with the individual title. The question is he going to become the second player in history to not be able to play in the postseason after winning the Golden Boot?
He has the magic, but will that magic be enough to carry this side? Meanwhile, the other side, Reese Buckmaster, reverting back to an old role in a new team.
Yeah, and this is something about Reese Buckmaster you have to understand. He's good, and he's better than good because he was great at Indiana under Todd Yeagley. You can move him to the outside back spot. You can move him to the center back spot 5 separate times at the professional level. We've seen him in a central location. But you have to understand within the Memphis ranks, even better than that, this team needs his leadership because coming off of a loss, they are 8-3-5 all time. 82% of the time in the Ben Pierman era, when they get a loss, they turn around and get positive points. That bodes well for them down the stretch.
And we'll see if it bodes well for them here tonight. It's Orange County and Memphis 901. Lineups at kickoff are coming up next here on the other side of this break.
Hi, I'm Mike Orozco, Cal South alum. Cal South helped me develop and gave me great opportunities. Great coaching is something that I was looking for growing up. It helped me reach the highest level there is in soccer, playing in Liga MX, MLS, and representing the U.S. at the highest level. So I am very grateful to be part of Cal South.
I love shovels.
Where did you come from?
Ever find a body?
What? No.
Did you contact 811?
Who are you?
Did you know it's the law?
Why is a child yelling at me?
What if you hit a gas line? Who pays to fix it? Do you? Does my neighbor? Can you go to jail? How much is bail?
It's good to ask questions, like did you contact 811 before digging?
Are we going to jail? I don't know.
Here in Irvine, there's something for everyone. You can satisfy your sweet tooth here or here. Cool off with freshly picked berries or catch some rays. Get some post-worthy views or rock out with your friends. Raise your adrenaline or just relax. It's master planned with you in mind. Irvine awaits.
This match is presented by Cal South, the official state association for youth and adult soccer in Southern California. This match is also brought to you by Califino, the official tequila of OCSC, and Brave Robot, animal-free ice cream. Kickoff is impending here between Memphis and Orange County, presented by Cal South, the official state association for youth and adult soccer in Southern California. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here for these two sides. Mark Schoenster alongside me, Devin Kerr. Lineups brought to you by Kimco Staffing. First off, the home side.
Yeah, expect to see much of the same on the back line with Villanueva and Ian Hoffman providing the stretch on the width. We want to keep an eye on that at locking down the center back spot, because as they move in transition, this is the great thing about the versatility of Orange County, is they have a ton of players in possession that can drop into the central locations. Brian Olowski joins his brother Milan into the lineup as they get to do battle together, but he can play on the right and the left. You can bump him onto the front line or into an 8-10 type role. Powers Worslet deep. Where does Partita play into this? I see him sliding out a little bit on the left, but more so just centrally located on the left as they move forward. When you transition to Memphis 901 FC and what Ben Pierman brings to the table, this is all about transitional movements for them. They don't have to be on the ball as much. Yes, they would like to, but with fixture congestion and lack of resources within their lineup, they don't rotate a ton of pieces. We do get a different look. Dotson onto the right back spot is an interesting piece we'll talk about as the match goes on.
Whistle is blown here by our head official, Adam Kilpatrick, and we are underway between Memphis and Orange County. I think we're beyond talking about desperate measures for the home side. So we take a look at the Orange County faithful, still here supporting their side, reigning champions, but bottom of the Western Conference. As moving down this right-hand side is Allen, bouncing in the middle, parried away. Orange County able to clear that one away for now. Just 27 points on the season. Meanwhile, Memphis sitting on 51 points. Of course, 52 if you count the active score.
Not a boy. Get in there. I mean, someone's going to call you out. You might as well get it out of the way and say it right.
It's along the same lines of the European versus the American
Bingo.
record.
I always love it when we jump into the league table, you turn it on and the game starts, and all of a sudden that extra point jumps in and you're going, wait, I didn't realize my math is that bad, right?
Yeah. Memphis gonna poke and prod around 90 degrees at kickoff here in Orange County, California. Of course, the juggernaut side, Memphis, like we mentioned in the open. 3 points would lock up a spot in the playoffs. Of course, there's still a month and a half of playing to go, so at this point, pretty much seems like a guarantee they're gonna make it, barring some mathematical absolute craziness.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, though. I mean, the way that they've been all season long, the level of consistency, and that word consistent is thrown around on a regular basis, probably in a negative light at times for no reason, but this team has to sit right atop that argument, at least in terms of overall products. Yes, the results, but there are plenty of teams around the league that get results consistently. They've just been a similar team every time they step onto the pitch. Doesn't matter who's within there. We see other very regular names. They find a way to get a result. Good defensively. They produce on the offensive end. They're not overly flashy. They just kind of go about their business, get in, get out, and that's the hope tonight on the road at Orange County. They themselves, right? They've been all over the map. I mean, you and I were discussing what the match was going to look like coming in, and it's little things to try and find themselves in better positions, but anything that could go wrong has gone wrong this year, right? It's injuries, it's COVID, it's form. You know, I joked with you that Lady Luck certainly hasn't helped out. Really, the only positive thing that's gone on all season is Milan Olowski, and that's not a knock on the organization or the players. Yeah. That's just the way it's gone on. You know, every time I get on the phone with Richard Chaplow, the conversation, you feel the emotion and the hurt because it's Groundhog Day over and over again, and yet still they've got such a massive amount of quality within their ranks.
Despite their position on the table, I can imagine any team matching up against them is not exactly shrugging them off as a free win.
No, not by any means. And there are layups within this league. I wouldn't say that there are many, if any, within the Western Conference, but maybe more so a little bit top heavy in the East. So the bottom, yeah, Red Bull 2 and Atlanta United 2 certainly don't hold the same amount of water that a RGV or a Phoenix Rising do. Every game in the Western Conference this year has turned into just massive battles. And unfortunately for Orange County, they've come out on the wrong side of a lot of those.
It's funny you mentioned layups, as well as Atlanta United did get a victory over Tulsa today, which makes it possible for Memphis to clinch. As this ball rolls into the 18 and collected by Drew Romig, or Trey Muse, excuse me. An Indiana product, Trey Muse. Not the first Indiana product we've mentioned today, of course, a rather notable college soccer program.
And look how high Buckmaster is. That's, you lose his presence at the outside right back spot, but you have to do something to solidify this back line. I mentioned in the lineup quickly, because we were getting a kick, that Derek Dotson moves in there. Much more advanced in his role, has been his entire career. But due to the injuries that you've picked up, Devin Boyce injured, Zach Carroll picked up a little knock in warm-ups against Loudon. Niall Logue, a couple of weeks now. The good news is it looks like Niall Logue is about a week away, but with Graham Smith picking up the red card,
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, you know, you've got to move everything. You got to take one of your attacking pieces, move them onto the back line. Turchi's already come out of the midfield. It's makeshift at best. And they probably, you could say that in theory they deserved better last time out against Loudon, but you don't always deserve it, right? Because Loudon certainly did enough. You've got to make plays, and that comes down to it. They just, Loudon were better in some of the 50-50s, and that got the best of 901 FC down the stretch. Can you recover, though? And historically under Ben Pierman, they have 8-3-5 set in the open.
Yeah,
82% of this time that this team loses a game, they then turn around and come out with a positive result. That's pretty impressive.
You can't imagine happening 3 times in a row on a 2-game losing streak as it stands. Lost 1-0 on Wednesday to Loudon, as you mentioned. Ball gets squared inside, parried away. Be recollected by Fernando. Now here's Aaron Malloy. His lofted ball inside, too high for one target. Headed back into the center, looked to be flicked on. Should have gotten better contact on it. Philip Goodrum was in the right spot, but couldn't pack any heat behind it. First window of opportunity in the game for Memphis. As we look at this replay, brought to you by Adidas.
Someone can explain to Philip Goodrum that it doesn't come much easier than this. How's the ball back across? 14 this season. 15 should have been the simplest one to note. Unfortunately, it was not.
Shake out that one and forget it. Still got over 80+ minutes left in this one. That ball gets hoofed away as we get a chance to look at that injury report, brought to you by Zulfagari Law. I already mentioned Memphis's injuries, and then of course 2 listed for Orange County between Acosta and Kiernan. And here are our keys to game, brought to you by Easy Fleet.
To the point before, watch the width of your Orange County, the way that they like to attack with Villanueva and Ian Hoffman, tons of speed. You got to be careful that the balance is there defensively, because 901 FC so good in transition. The way that they've been able to break teams down quickly, moving off the back line, distribution from Trey Muse, Jeremy Kelly, and Luis Fernando tonight. Perfect representation on the width. They've got good presence up top, and Philip Goodrum playing underneath. But just slow and steady if you're Memphis. Back-to-back losses. Not a frequent occurrence, to your point, Mark. Don't let that get the best of you. You don't want to be rattled. You're on the road. It's a Western Conference trip. You had to deal with a little bit of rotation due to the midweek letdown that was Loudon United at home. Good news is there is a saving grace in terms of scheduling. You will get Atlanta United 2, albeit on short rest, and then Charleston Battery. And all due respect to 3 out of the 4 teams outside of Orange County, most of them have been eliminated outside of Loudon. So,
Yeah.
that, you know, it tells you, I don't want to say that there's nothing to play for. Of course, pride is number one. Contractually, can you poke your hat out and make yourself relevant to your team or to other teams? But I'd rather be matched up against one of them than, say, a Louisville or a Rowdies.
Right, right,
Makes
exactly.
it a little bit easier, right?
Certainly. It is worth mentioning, though, as far as position groups are concerned, talking about the reconfiguration of the back line. Obviously, you don't want any position group to be reconfigured, especially late in the season, but back line's the least ideal of midfield, forward, wingers, anything along those lines. But it does help to know that you don't have but the most ruthless schedule ahead of you, unlike their opposition today. Whistle's blown, stopping that opportunity. Offside flag. Stopping it dead in its tracks as we approach 10 minutes here. Memphis mainly been the ones asking questions here. Really only one major chance thus far that was not taken advantage of by Goodrum, which is not something you could say too often. Now here come Orange County with some space. Into the 18 it goes, and out of the 18 it goes. Cleared away by Patrick Segrist. Hoffman waiting to get the ball here. Service. Headed out immediately. Main Orange County ball. Gonna hold it in the attacking half for even a spell of time, alleviate that back line, that low block. Play going on here despite that challenge. Chris Allen, the one sliding in on that one. And here come Orange County with some space to work with. Slipping through the chipped ball. Completely off the target. It wouldn't have mattered anyway.
My flag up on the far side, but this is exactly what they're looking for. You know, I talked about the width and the way that they like to attack. How about the little undercut runs by Milanolowski and Kubo Torres? As the season has gone on, we've become so accustomed to seeing Olowski on the tail end of those with Kubo as the target man underneath. This time, flip the script. It's a nice little ball up over the top, unfortunately not timed right. Good job by Turchi and he's Buckmaster. Just a quick little step up to draw him into an offside position.
Enough to keep that from being anything of danger, even if that ball did find its way into the back of the net. One way or another, though, nothing to come of it for the home side. That's not comfortable.
And the question is whether or not was this dinner and dessert combined. Thought I caught him in the naughty place. That's not true, though.
Yeah, I think, but it also looked like it hit him in the chin or the face. So that's, I mean, I think you prefer that, but still,
absolutely
less than ideal overall.
Put it this way: he was up and walking quite quicker than we thought it was going to be.
Here on this right-hand side, Memphis once again. Dodson. Play for Paul. Malloy able to connect it out wide to Fernando. Over that right channel. He's able to swing it inside, doesn't connect with anybody. But then here's a rocketed effort, bouncing towards goal and into the hands of Rakowski. Aaron Malloy, you know he has that ripping shot from outside the 18 in his repertoire.
That's a good crack from distance. Everybody, the trailing run here, by the way, look at the step up. It's a little bit slow by Kyle Scott. I'm surprised. The Englishman, as the ball comes back up, well done on the header won by Ian Hoffman. I mean, you can't leave that much space and that much time, more importantly, right at the top of the 18.
No harm done at the end of the day, but you can't guarantee that for the rest of the match. That one's parried forward by Muse, coming well outside of his comfort zone. After a bit of a scuffle, Memphis able to boot that one away. Now they'll move forward once again. It's Fernando again. That's inside. Still veering. To the top of the 18, plays it out to his left. Back to Malloy. Thought about the shot. Now he'll take it, and he just bends it wide.
This starts on the right-hand flank and the run by Luis Fernando. As he starts to cut back across, he had dragged a couple of runners in front of him with him. And then the space, everybody had peeled off the other direction. The drop back by Alowski. You're looking for Goodrum. Allen, Jeremy Kelly had slipped himself on the back post, but nobody is remembering the secondary efforts being put forth by the deep lying runs of either Leston Paul or Aaron Malloy.
That'll be a quick push from behind, whistle from our head official. Once again, Adam Kilpatrick. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select, League's choice, player's choice. Well, carelessly given right back to the visiting side. And not on the same page there with Fernando, making different runs. Goodrum looking to thread it through on the run. There's Alowski. Another free kick for Memphis. Taps it down to Fernando. He's up against the wall with Villanueva on his back. This will roll all the way back to Trey Muse.
Well, what's interesting is they're not taking any chances with Malloy or Leston Paul. They're not having them come deeper to try and pick up collection. Instead, just allowing the center backs to dictate what they want this to look like. Segrist and Dotson hugging the touchline. And the fear of that is if they can't find a way to play through them, if they come so deep, there's going to be a turnover. There's going to be a lot of space for all of these players from Orange County to step into. So instead, they keep them at a mediocre level, creates proper balance moving forward and dropping back. Just keep the game in front of you and hope that tactically all of the other positions around you are locked up. So far, so good.
Orange County has it over on the right flank. Ball gets swung inside, nodded away. Recollected by Partita. No whistle blown there. We teed over to the left-hand side. Milan Alowski on the ball now. Gives it back to Villanueva. Scott still with it before he gives it back to Orozco. Here's a long ball down the pitch. Dodson just has to get his head on it to knock it away. Villanueva passes back to Partita. They'll take this all the way back to midfield. They look to find the proper channels to crack into Memphis here. Malloy gets it taken away from him. Partita with the pressure. Now here comes Orange County. Olaski. And the flag's going to go up once again. There's actually Torres on the ball there trying to find Olaski. Some promise in that moment, but stopped all too short. Going down there is Derek Dodson, draw the foul. Orange County coming off a 3-1 loss last weekend against the Rowdies. It was Brian Olaski who scored in that one. But nonetheless, both these teams coming off of negative results. Of course, those hurt a little bit more for Orange County than they do for Memphis at this point in the season, although their ambitions are much higher. Nothing called there by the official, but that one will. Thumping challenge from Orozco. And he's going to be the first one to see a booking here tonight.
It's frustration from the fans. I don't blame them, and it's not necessarily because of this challenge. A bit surprised that the referee didn't come back on Luis Fernando for his studs-up challenge about 30 or 40 seconds prior on the other side of the field. There's no foul there on the drop down in from Brian Olaski. The favor repaid. There's contact for sure. Is it warranted of a yellow card? 20 minutes into a game when we really haven't seen much from either side in terms of any sort of physical contact. You know, my argument, Mark, all the time is that if you're going to do that as a referee, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to say, listen, boys, here's how I'm going to manage this match, pay attention, I'm okay with that as long as you're consistent throughout the match. The second that you start changing things, that's when players get frustrated. That's when emotions tend to run higher and the game can run rampant.
Well, I think that this is the same thing for whatever style of reffing. As long as you lay the groundwork and stick to it throughout the game, the players can adjust and respect that. Adam Kilpatrick, our head official, digging into his pocket early in this one. Orozco, center back, will have to sit on that yellow card for the rest of this one, his 7th of the season. That one will be headed out of play for a Memphis throw. Malloy with the move. Plays it out wide to Dodson. Now Fernando. Takes a couple steps, and his cross gets pinged up in the air. It's brought back down immediately. Memphis will continue cooking. Master will switch it over to the left-hand side. It's a little bit behind. A bundle of Memphis players all in the same vicinity. They'll get played into the middle. Flag, it's got to go up there, and it will. Luis Fernando able to tuck it home, but not in a legal sense.
It is still so impressive to me that we're 3/4 of the way through the season, and whether there's 90 yards to run through or 9, how impressive 901 FC can be in either of those situations. Look at Dylan Powers, one of the main reasons this team was so effective down the stretch. Picked him up late last year, picked him up late this year.
You see all the players wearing black armbands. It's Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That's what the abbreviation is on it. They are partnering with that organization tonight, with funds going to that organization to help promote having assigned designated drivers whenever you're going out to, have a good time, have a couple drinks, have someone assigned to be the responsible adult to bring everybody home. So some of the funds of this match are going directly to that mission in Southern California to help save some lives and just protect the well-being of people on the road.
What's the old saying? You drink, you drive, you lose.
Yeah.
Simple enough. Game's got a weird tempo to it. It's not wide open. It's not locked down. There are chances. There's not a ton of emotion. There's challenges, but they haven't been, overly influential within the game itself.
There hasn't been exactly a flow to the game at all.
No, it's kind of hard to really figure out which teams are willing to step in and say, this is our match, we're going to attack it more. I mean, certainly 901 FC has been the team with more opportunities and on the front foot.
This ball gets sprayed across the face of goal. Too high for any of the strikers to reach. Dodson looking to maybe win a corner there, does not get it. Villanueva taps it out. It'll be a quick throw in. Fernando having to shield off the same Villanueva. Malloy will pop it over to the left-hand side. Both players missing it there. Left Coast Brewing is the official watch party partner of OCSC. You can watch all OCSC away games televised at Left Coast in Irvine, located less than 5 minutes away from Championship Stadium. Here, can it be kept in play? No, it cannot. But it did deflect off an Orange County defender. We'll go out for our first corner kick of the match. First for either side. So we'll see from the set piece department how these two teams will fare here tonight. Aaron Malloy will make his way over there to service up a nice ball. Take it short. That one didn't get very far at all. Booted away by Orange County. And then a push from behind wins a quick free kick for Orange County. And here's Orlowski on the break. He's all by himself, a swarm of white jerseys, but he escapes with the ball. And that ball parried towards goal, saved.
There's some frustration here by Kubo Torres. He felt like he was the benefactor of this beautiful ball whipped up over the top. I can't necessarily blame him. Now, you can't fault Brian for stepping into this thing, but with the way that it's set up, the angle, this sits up quite nicely for Kubo Torres to allow this to drift a little bit further across his body than use his hips to come across it and pick out the bottom corner.
They do get a corner kick out of it one way or another. Service isn't bad, but it's punched away by Muse. And then the volley is scuffed on impact. The effort there from Ian Hoffman. Here's Malloy with a head full of steam. Malloy slips it to his right. Fernando squares it back. It's deflected. Game's starting to open up a little bit more.
It's got to be quicker here from Orange County, though. You can't allow the recovery to come from Greenbelt. I talked about their ability, regardless of situation, to compress the game or open it up, Mark, but in that significant spot right there, you've made your stand. Numbers are forward for 901 FC. Play right through them, which they did, and then they slow the game back down again. Now, I understand that there's a DNA about this team that has gotten you to a title in previous year. Okay, I'm with you on that one. But this is 2022, and you are in a spot where you have to find a way to go and get a result. Sitting back, sitting idly by is not the way to do it. You got to chase the game a little bit.
We're going to get our second booking of the day. Looked like that was issued to Chris Allen. So we get a look at the foul again here.
It's easy enough to figure out that this is going to be a card. Thank you very much. And this is just frustration at its best on the backside for Chris Allen. The follow through, that sweeping leg in behind, always going to get you in trouble, especially when the referee has a front seat.
That easy fleet yellow card. It's his 5th of the season for Allen. So we wait to resume play here with an Orange County free kick. OCSC fans, there are only 2 home matches left this season. Don't miss out on seeing your favorite team play at the Championship Stadium. Get your tickets to our September 10th and October 1st games at orangecountysoccer.com/tickets. That's orangecountysoccer.com/tickets. Oski will play this one back to Partita. Retreating for the moment. Yeah, when you're bottom of the table, playing conservative is not exactly an option.
No, and even more so, you know, you're in a stretch right now, Mark. We talked about it in the open, the difficulty of which it's going to be to navigate this schedule. Yes, it starts with, you know, a game coming into the day where 901 FC was sitting in the number 2 spot. Of course, matches that occurred earlier tonight have had an influence on where they sit in the table, but they're number 2 coming in. But you still have to go on the road against Monterey. You got to play SAC, Pittsburgh, San Diego. I mean, the list is long and distinguished. Let's get that out of the way. Why not try and find some confidence? Especially because all season long, you've really only had Olowski to talk about. So make a name for somebody else, right? Brian Olowski has come onto the field. Let's talk about the two brothers. How about, Dylan Powers once again, Kyle Scott that's come over. There's so much top-tier talent within this team. Have some fun. Chase the game. Open it up a little bit because, yeah, then you can step on it and slow it down. You'll just be doing it sitting on a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, go crazy a little bit. They're going down here, and be a free kick for Orange County after Dodson getting a little too pushy there. Contact right after the ball being left there. Kubo Torres guilty of the foul in that moment.
Ah, yes. The great pumpkin. Far off in the distance.
It is September now, so we can start talking about the fall.
Look at the lighting and the views.
I mean,
The
that's
faux facade of the wood on the side of the building. Sweets up top. Oh, there's the title banner. I'll take it.
absolutely gorgeous, and of course, earning that name for Orange County with just a speechless sky.
So weird. That title-winning run, as good as it was, seems like eons ago, and yet feels like just yesterday. They were taking down the Rowdies at Outlang, and that fateful month of November. Yeah, putting on a clinic. Well said. Played very well for themselves. A lot has changed since then, of course, though.
Wow, how much can change in just a year. But, I mean, that's the pedigree they have. I mean, you talk about the talent, the roster. It's not like it's an entirely different team this year with a new coach or anything.
Well, there's certainly still enough to go and get the job done. But again, you need some things to start heading the right direction for you, and why not starting it right now? At 37 minutes in, haven't seen overly interested within this match. That's a good ball.
Allen gets forward to Malloy. He connects to the right-hand side. Fernando could get there, but Villanueva just a couple of fractions faster.
He's been learning as the season has gone on. Richard Chaplow has asked him to play higher and higher to get involved, because on the attacking side of the ball, he is so good, and at times he hasn't taken advantage of that space. But this is one of those situations where he had moved himself into an advanced position. It's a heck of recovery by the youngster. And remember that he just turned 20 in July. July 9th was his 20th birthday, and he gets better and better every single time he steps onto the field. One of those guys that work through the RSL and then Seattle Sounders Academy that Orange County has now gotten their hands on. They're trying to sculpt this young man to push him into another level. Luis Fernando almost got the best of him. It's a great tackle on the backside of it, though.
Yeah, and Orange County's already proved that they can sculpt players already, so with each successful product, more confident guys can come in and feel like they can trust the voices of the coaching staff and the players around them. It also helps to get a lot of game time, too.
It certainly doesn't hurt, does it? And I'll give him credit, though, tonight, because we could start with the youngster of Villanueva, but how about his counterpart on the other side, Ian Hoffman? They're playing so high that you really isolate your two center backs, and yet the ability to have that tit for tat on both sides of the ball, that you can push yourself high, maintain possession, and yet not give up, enter those countering runs in behind. Pretty impressive.
Torres to Olowski. Not on the same page there with his teammate, but some pressure could win the ball back. Ref says play on there. Olowski trying to chip it forward. Another promising moment, but not on the same page for Orange County. There's some careless whispers being tooted in the background.
I heard it as well. You play an instrument?
No, but I wish I did.
Same. I mean, I wish I could sing too, but that's not happening anytime soon.
I can sing when I'm alone in the car. That's about it. Here's a volleyed effort, bouncing towards goal. Philip Goodrum just trying to conjure it up by himself in the 18.
It's the greatness about him in this run that he's been on this year. 14 goals, 3 assists to his name. His 26th time out on the field. The easy header gets away from him. The difficult strike from distance. Of course, he makes it look so simplistic in nature. Pick out that bottom corner and go to work.
Just pulls it out of his pocket as we get our second corner of the day from Memphis. Service comes in. Sinks down, still in danger. Stutter and then a clearance. And Dodson will walk it all the way back to Muse. So popped over to the left-hand side. Fernando is there now. 40 minutes into this one. You could say Memphis has had the better of the chances, but for the most part, outside of 1 or 2 opportunities, nothing too glaring for either side. Oloski makes a move, and it's moved away. 4 minutes plus whatever stoppage time is allocated. And we'll have halftime for you here. Cover some bases during that break. There's the ball going through for Goodrum. That's not the touch he was looking for. But Oloski dashing to win it right back. That's a good ball going down the pitch. Into the 18 they come. A good stumble. Winding up shot, and it deflects its way in. And Orange County find that goal before halftime. Brian Oloski with goal number 2 on the season.
Watch the break coming right up through the middle. Chris Allen had dropped in. Kevin Partita and Milan Oloski going 2v1 defensively to try and close down the space and find a way to go on the break. And Oloski, the benefactor of the touchback across, finds his brother. 7-10, the little cutback, the bottom corner. We have been aching and waiting to see these two go to work together. Finally get your wish, finally get your goal, and Orange County finally have their lead.
1-0, looking to walk it into the break at that score line. A brotherly connection, and currently 3 points for a more than desperate side in Orange County. Up against a quality side in Memphis. And that could change the complexion of this game. Maybe a little bit more pep in the step of the home side. And maybe more frustration from Memphis. Just getting slung down there. Jeremy Kelly just having his way.
Friendly reminder, they had 6 games in the month of August, and they're coming off a midweek match against Loudon. This is very much a survive type situation for Ben Pierman and his band of misfit toys. You go down 1-0. You played well enough for certain spots in the first half against Birmingham Legion. Second half, you got out maneuvered a little bit. Loudon, similar story. Now all of a sudden, another scenario where you're chasing your tail a little bit. Have they been the better team? You can make the argument that for sure. Not by much, because Orange County have still had opportunities. Memphis have had more, but it's not like we're sitting here going, wow, they've been great in the first half, right?
Yeah.
You know, they've struggled in certain areas as well. There have been moments in the game where it's opened itself up and there's just too much space. You know, the way that Orange County have been quite direct in a lot of situations makes you nervous, because 901 FC like to open it up. They want to find a way to push the tempo a little bit and see if they can get everybody in transition, and that just means you're more susceptible to some of those areas of interest that Orange County can slide themselves through. Finally, they get it. Great pressure through the midfield, get the opening goal. It's going to be a great talking point as you head into the dressing room. That's still the belief that no matter what, there is an outside chance that they could still squeak their way into the playoffs. We got a long way to go in that argument, but you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. Something, 1,000 miles begins with one step, something along those lines.
Something.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And now you can also revert back to your traditional Orange County style. You don't have to go all wild, at least for now, given the 1-0 lead that you're holding. You can revert to some of the traits that you know has found success in the past.
Well, Bingo, and remember I said to you, you don't need to open it up all the way. Let's just show some aggression and chase it a little bit, right? So you get Milanolowski, who's come much deeper in terms of his role to help facilitate the pressure within the midfield. That little pinch in that I talked about from Kevin Partita, Villanueva had come high. So even though Villanueva wasn't directly involved in the one-on-one matchup, he had helped push the interior of the field enough that you've created a 2v1 overload. There's your turnover, and you get your goal.
Olowski back across the center. Maybe looking for one more before the whistle. And then that should do it, and it will do it for the first half of action. The Golden Boot leader turned provider here in the first half. It's 1-0 to the home side. Hanging on by a thread this season, and now have 3 points in the balance. If they can hang on to this lead for the next 45. Can't say it's against the run of play. It's been blow for blow in this one, and now they'll look to see if they can hang on. We'll step aside for a moment. When we come back, we'll have halftime content coming your way here on ESPN+. We'll see you on the other side.
Back post run, header down and in! Rakowski got a piece. Asante turns. Rakowski gets up. Orange County strikes first.
I'm here at ProCode, the official training partner of Orange County Soccer Club.
Every athlete knows they have more potential inside them. At ProCode, we provide a custom training plan so you can unlock that full potential and perform your best when it matters most.
One 0 is your scoreline after 45 minutes here on the Pro Sport Halftime Show. Orange County, the home side, leading in a game that they need 3 points in. Mark Schoenster alongside me, Devin Kerr. We're talking about Orange County. We mentioned their gauntlet of a schedule coming up here. Let's take another look at the slate of games they have at their disposal these next coming weeks. It's not pretty.
No, and I would make the argument, Mark, that as you approach the end of this year, that this is the most difficult schedule in all the USL Championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair shake.
Yeah, I mean, SAC, Pitt, San Diego, El Paso, San Antonio. Now, I've obviously progressed myself past the quote-unquote easier games, if that actually exists anymore in this argument, of Monterey Bay and Los Dos, if they can close out 901 FC tonight. But those final 5 games, you're looking at a guaranteed, at this point in time, 3 teams that are within the top 4, 3 of which are currently in the Western Conference. Pittsburgh Riverhounds could easily be in the top 4 in the East, and who knows where El Paso Locomotive ends up. They're fighting for their playoff lives. They obviously had a really good result against New Mexico United. If you're the reigning champs and you're going to get in, you're going to do it in impressive fashion, because if you can get through that stretch right there and get into the playoffs, I would not want to play, or I would not want to be a different team than the Orange County. I speak for a living, by the way, apparently.
Yeah.
I would not want to be another team than Orange County, because they would have a tremendous run in, as opposed to 901 FC, who, we said it in the first half. Atlanta, Charleston, those are games where you should chalk it up as a guaranteed 6 points in theory. Here's the problem, though. Coming into tonight, they should have been in first place. Louisville had dropped back-to-back games, and then 901 FC had dropped back-to-back games as well. If Louisville dropped 2 and 901 had won those 2 matches, they would have been sitting in the first in the Eastern Conference. Now, all of a sudden, as you and I are having this discussion, they did, in fact, drop 6 points, and instead, they're in 4th. And Pittsburgh Riverhounds are hot on their heels. They got to find a way to gain some momentum in the second half here and beyond, because this team wants a home playoff game.
Well, we've got more halftime content coming your way here on ESPN+. We'll see you on the other side of this break with some news and notes.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Where did you come from?
Ever find a body?
What? No.
Did you contact 811?
Who are you?
Did you know it's the law?
Why is a child yelling at me?
What if you hit a gas line? Who pays to fix it? Do you? Does my neighbor? Can you go to jail? How much is bail?
It's good to ask questions, like did you contact 811 before digging?
Are we going to jail? I don't know.
As we bring you back here for the Pro Sport Halftime Show. 1-0 Orange County with the lead. As we take a peek at all the news that's been buzzing around the USL as of late. Mark Schoenster alongside me, Devin Kurt. Of course, one of the biggest talking points has got to be what's happening this Wednesday, Devin.
It has to be. And with all due respect to the team that's going to be headed to Jacksonville, that's including Tim Tebow and, of course, my dear friend Blair Gavin, going home, if you will. Sam Dorr and he, former friends at Phoenix Rising, they rejoined forces as he'll take over the head coaching position for Michael Incian at FC Tulsa. But it's Mark Briggs & Co. They were doing battle against Louisville tonight. They hit a rain delay. They're hoping that delay doesn't funnel into their form Wednesday as they travel to Orlando City. First time since 2008, a lower division team has made it to the Open Cup final. Can they repeat history of the 1999 Rochester Rhinos who took it all down?
And as we look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Destination Irvin, a lot of interesting games coming up and a lot of games that have implications for these two sides, including their next matches against Atlanta United and Monterey Bay.
You know, I was hoping that, and I'm with you on that one, I was hoping that the 9-7 game between Tulsa and Louisville carried a bit more weight on it. The difference is that FC Tulsa just hasn't been able to handle business. They let a big one slip through their fingers tonight that should have been guaranteed against Atlanta United too. They could have closed 2 more points on Detroit City, who slipped up once again. Instead, that gap is 9 points. FC Tulsa only have 6 games to make it up. That doesn't bode well. But otherwise, yeah, I'm with you. That Monterey Bay Orange County game, the California Kings, if you will, someone will have something to say.
One of them will have to make a statement of some sort as we look at the scoreboard from some of the matches taking place as of right now. We already mentioned some of these teams in their future matchups, but it's a Saturday, so they're also duking at it as we speak.
Again, the Western Conference is wide open, and you can't say that it's done for Phoenix Rising in this situation because they have a game in hand on Oakland. They also have a game on hand on Las Vegas Lights, but they're now going to be 5 points back with 7 games to play. You know, you reach that equation where all of a sudden, when it's games to points, you run the risk when one starts to flip off the other direction that you're not going to be able to make up the ground. Phoenix Rising, even with the red card to Darnell King, look like once again they are going to be on the receiving end of a not so fortuitous result.
And with that in mind, we're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll have the highlights, the first half stats, and then the second half of action here from Championship Soccer Stadium. We'll see you then.
John's Incredible Pizza Company has incredible food and fun for the whole family. John's features an all-you-can-eat buffet with pizza, salad, and more. Choose one of our unique themed dining rooms. Then venture to John's Incredible Fun World. With over 100 of the hottest new games, rides, and attractions, you'll have a blast. Remember John's for your next family outing, team banquet, or birthday party. Visit johnspizza.com and come experience the incredible.
We never knew that it was going to be one of those sought-after IPAs all over the world.
One was a double IPA, the other was a single.
It was Doug's idea to combine our 2 recipes together.
And that was the key.
They gave me the beer, and I thought, this is the best beer ever. And they said, yeah, well, it's 7%.
Yeah, and that's how a beer called Sculpin was born.
When you're making something and creating this art, and then you get to share it with people and they enjoy it, it's why we do what we do.
Back post run, header down and in! Rakowski got a piece. Asante turns. Rakowski gets up. Orange County strikes first.
This match is presented by Cal South, the official state association for youth and adult soccer in Southern California. This match is also brought to you by Thistle, delicious pre-prepped plant-based meals delivered to your door. And by UHSM, the official sponsor of the OCSC Community Corner. As we welcome you back here for the tail end of halftime, here's a look at the first half highlights brought to you by UHSM.
Well, it definitely started nice for 901 FC. Their ability to spread the field was pretty impressive early on within this game. These deep runs are where they were at their best, specifically from Aaron Malloy. We saw 2 different strikes from distance in about a 2-minute span. This one little pivot onto the right foot almost picks out the far corner. Rakowski is late to it, though. He might have just been able to nick it off the line. Let's go the other direction. How about Milanowski and this little chip up over the top? You're going to want that one back. If you're Brian Olowski, the trailing run of Kubo Torres, talked about it within game. As this thing takes a little hop up off the deck, look at the left foot. Kubo's got this thing lined up like Thanksgiving dinner in a buffet line, and instead, Olowski gets in the way, and they go back to work once again. Bottom corner. How did Philip Goodrum miss the header that was the sitter, and then how, from close to 30 yards out, does he almost bury this? Well, he doesn't because Rakowski. And again, I go back to the pressure. It's the ability to overload the central locations. We talked about the lineup coming in. Olowski, Scott, Powers, Partita, and then Milan. All of them can drop down into these center spots, get themselves into a numerical advantage. That's exactly what goes on here. Olowski, Partita, Villanueva was high as well. That 3v1 goes to 2v1, which goes to a beautiful ball up over the top, taken perfectly off the head. It's a positive touch. Then bring it back into a negative direction across the defender. Most everybody thinks this is going to the far post. Olowski gets clever. Brian goes to the near post, grabs the second of the year, and gives his team the lead.
As we look at the halftime stats here, Memphis holding possession, but as you can see here, the chances were pretty equal hand in hand for both sides.
And here's the problem you're going to run into, Mark, as this game continues to go on. And we said it. Now you're up 1-0. Defensively, this Orange County team can put a stranglehold on any team in the entire USL Championship. A, is your level of quality going to be able to match that effort? That's the key question because they haven't been able to all season long. And B, how much are you willing to chase this game right now, right out of the gate, if you're 901 FC? Do you say, hey, let's go find an equalizer 5-10 minutes in, set the tone for the second half? Or do you let the game dictate itself and see what's put on the table to then find a solution?
And for Memphis, how much legs do you still have underneath you?
Bingo. Because you got to turn around again after this midweek, go again on the road and play another midweek game. It does not come easy, but it certainly comes fast and furious.
As we wait for the go-ahead from Adam Kilpatrick. And right on cue. 45 more minutes to go. Orange County, can they hang on to this point? Desperately need 3 points if they want to have their playoff hopes not get entirely diminished. It's already in dire straits. But they've got that lead. And Memphis fire back and find a response in this one. 3 points for them would guarantee them a place in the playoffs. Of course, we're still about a month and a half away from that, so they've all but booked their trip. It would just be in paper should they get 3 points. Ball just kept in play by Memphis. Dodson, the one keeping it in. Now Malloy. It was about 90 degrees at kickoff. It's dipped down to 85 here in the second half as the sun has buried itself into the horizon. Had a beautiful orange sky painting before halftime. And now the floodlights are on. And although it's already been do or die time for Orange County, it continues to be so here in the second half, as that one gets knocked out for a Memphis corner kick. Aaron Malloy will wind up for this one. Low driving ball, flicked upward and out for a goal kick. The reigning title holders visit in-state rivals as the USL on ESPN2 continues. Orange County SC looks for a late season surge against Sacramento Republic FC Sunday, September 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Sac Republic having to deal with a delay today, and of course have a date with Orlando on Wednesday.
That game finally going final, as it was a quite elongated rain delay for Sacramento Republic at Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, 3-1. There was a back and forth there, Wilson Harris and Oquayo, Sean Tosh, 2-1 until the death of it. Elijah Winder added insult to injury in the 87th minute. What a game that could be, though, right? Between Orange County and Sac. I mean, Sac fighting for a top 4 spot. They'll be fresh off some sort of result in the Open Cup final.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is. Hopefully it's still a champagne hangover.
I think Orange County would prefer that.
Yeah.
A little bit too physical there, Aaron Malloy.
Orange County is still hoping they'll be relevant within the playoff picture.
At that point in time,
otherwise, it's going to be champagne taste on a Bud Light budget. No postseason celebrations then.
This ball bounces all the way back to Trey Muse. Looking to be a party here at the end of the night for Orange County and its fans. Looking for 3 points to celebrate. Meanwhile, a long road trip during an arduous stretch of the season, timing-wise, for Memphis. I'm going to see if they could salvage some points here. Here's Fernando. And just slips that one behind Dodson. Combination of physicality there will earn another free kick for Orange County. Markovsky will make his way up to the ball, taking his sweet precious time, as I imagine will be the case throughout the next 40 minutes of action. Drum. Just bending under the pressure there. Dodson goes down at that moment. And we're going to get our first yellow card of the second half. And it's Milan Olaski.
This is a pretty heavy shriek on the far side of the field as well from Derek Dotson, agonizing pain as he tries to make his way back to his feet.
It's certainly not a clean fall.
No, and it's the follow through, more importantly. He's smart because the ball gets popped out to him real quick, and first touch isn't the best, and as he comes through here, he pivots. That'll leave a mark.
Yeah, ouch.
It's well done by the referee to get involved right away, though.
Yellow card brought to you by Easy Fleet. As Olaski, the assister on the lone goal in this one, the difference maker. Great lobbed pass to his brother down the pitch. So here comes Memphis. Kelly over in the left channel. We'll roll it all the way back. Not showing a sense of urgency yet, Memphis, but potentially as the game wears on, that could develop. That one certainly rolled across the goal line. We've got a goal kick. Orange County Soccer Club, in partnership with the Dick's Sporting Goods Foundation and the U.S. Soccer Federation, is proud to be working on a new miniature outdoor hard surface soccer court at Delhi Park in Santa Ana. Head to orangecountysoccer.com/mini pitch to sign up to stay informed on free monthly clinics for the community. Always love seeing places get new soccer facilities built around. As this one falls to Woloski, he shoots, it's saved. Looking to make it a brace on the day. That's already his second volleyed effort of the night.
How nonchalant's the save by Trey Muse, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a half volley off the deck, ripped right at you. And watch the goalkeeper. This is all about positioning you young kids at home. I don't care how tall you are. Yeah, it helps to be 6'4". I don't care how well you're built or your skill set. This is about morals, values, and training bred into you. Perfectly done by Trey Muse.
That one will just pop out of play. It looks like we're gonna rerun it on the other side. Man, made it seem so just ordinary.
Just easily push that.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem, you know.
Corner bakery corner kick here.
Wonder strike right at me. I'm just gonna push this aside.
No biggie.
Bingo.
A lot of effort put on that one, but it ended up being a lot more dangerous than maybe initially interpreted. As Muse get tangled up in that netting. Probably did not fall in the most comfortable fashion, did everything he could to punch that one away.
This time it's a little bit more difficult with all the bodies in front of him, right? Cheating a little bit to the near post, recognizes that he's got caught out of position, counteracts the argument I just made for him. That is where your intellect and intuition takes over.
Another corner, dips down, and it's pinged away immediately. Made some contact on an Orange County head. Koski will blast this one straight up and down the pitch once again. Oh, I may have come off his arm for a second there, but no whistle blown. Here's Villanueva. Contact away from the ball. No whistle blown though. It's Malloy with the long ball. We're going to connect with Fernando down that right-hand side. Gets tapped away, and Villanueva with a lot of room to work with. Will escort it down before dishing it off. Woloski, the goal scorer in the first half and the difference in this one. Scored it right before halftime to give Orange County the lead. There's a volleyed cross, and actually ended up being more of a shot than a cross. I think he likes his chances from just about any spot this season.
He's feeling himself, man. He's got some kind of rhythm that he's put forth in his performances this year. He can do no wrong. Anywhere, any place, anytime. He's playing at another level. Doesn't matter what he does.
Here's a good step. And then the play to the top of the 18. Finds an abrupt end. Bit of an obstacle in the way to Aaron Malloy.
What's interesting about that, Mark, is that normally that's something that's quite contagious, where
this one given right back. Aaron Malloy to the top.
Oh,
that looked like a horse collar tackle.
Not only that, that's real close to being inside the box. It's not, but it's real close. It's right at the top of the 18. Watch the way that he pulls around. Now, the initial contact is where you're going to go from here, which is going to be right there. But look how close it is when he's dragged down. I mean, you're talking a yard tops, just inside even.
Daniel Peterson also being given the booking. Brought to you by Easy Fleet. It's his 6th yellow card of the season. And now Rakowski is going to have to brace himself for impact here. This is Aaron Malloy territory for certain.
Look at how much he's cheating to that far post. Gotta be really careful what you wish for. Got a bunch of big boys in the wall, but there's a lot of space on this near post. Watch the left footer, Fernando. He might get the nod here. I'm with you on Malloy. But there's a ton of space to the right of Rakowski.
Yeah. Here we go. A chance for Memphis to put something on the board from the set piece department. A bad free kick spot. Malloy tries to curl it. Just tuck it in that bottom right corner. Rakowski had to get his hand on it, so we will have a corner kick.
All right, watch the bounce. Might be heading wide anyway, but better safe than sorry here from Rakowski. Smart by Malloy. He still goes the direction that he wants to, but he uses the wall to his advantage. Keeping it that low, it's more difficult for the goalkeeper to catch a viewpoint on which way the ball's headed.
So here they are from the corner kick. Malloy. And that only finds the head of Kubo Torres. And that'll be a free kick for Orange County. Hit the okay. We approach 60 minutes in the 2/3 mark as Villanueva gets taken off his feet. There'll be another free kick for Orange County. OCFC will hold its 3rd annual Corporate Cup Adult Soccer Tournament this September. Local companies will take the pitch in a fun recreational co-ed tournament. Registration is still open. Sign up or get more details for your company. Go to orangecountysoccer.com/corporate-cup. Action in a tight space there. And now we're going to get a free kick on the Orange County side of things.
How's the move by Villanueva, by the way, to cut this thing back across? I mean, he's down deep in, starts the movement, and then a little step up in. And the left side of this team, Villanueva, Partida, because of the way that they overload, they bring so much of the space drop down into the middle. It frees up the ability for any player to step out there into the flank, and a lot of times you'll get multiple, especially when they move into their press. That's what goes on there. So difficult for Memphis 901 FC to play out of the back. This is that makeshift corner. All right, you've got plenty of big bodies you can run onto. Danny Peterson standing up over the ball. He can also go direct. I mean, I've seen him hit balls from distance like this, trying to catch the goalkeeper sleeping.
Two bodies hovering behind the ball. See what the plan of operations is here. Chipped inside and almost glided towards goal. And I guess it took contact off of a Memphis player. It's going to be a corner kick. Service dips down, nodded away. It could be service back inside. It will be. And wide open for the header. The offside flag did go up. Hugo Torres looking to make it 2, but certainly behind that back line. We're gonna get a substitution here for Memphis. Allen comes out, Kisiedu comes in. The substitution brought to you by MediQuip.
You're hoping this is the spark that gets them going, because they've been lacking in that false 9, number 10 role just underneath Philip Goodrum. There's a space of about 15, 20 yards where, as they progress moving forward, we've seen some glimpses on the outside. We've seen the steps up off the back line and Goodrum a couple of times, but the playmaking ability has not been there at all. They need someone to step up and provide some vision, a spark to this attack to get them back on track.
Looking for that jolt off the bench. Meanwhile, Orange County are fine with this game being deadpan for the rest of the matchup. What a touch there from Milosky. Finding the top of the 18, over to the right-hand side. Back to Hoffman. That pass just off target. Looking for Brian Milosky. And it'll roll out of play for an Orange County throw on the other side of the pitch. Now we're going to get a pair of substitutions for Orange County. Hugo Torres will come out of the game. In his stead, Albi Skendi. And also coming into the game for Orange County, Scott making way for Seth Kasipley. So 2 substitutions for Orange County, brought to you by MediQuip. They look to fasten down and make sure they don't let this game get out of hand. I don't know, things getting a little bit chippy here, or at least dramatic.
That's one way to look at it.
Some words from Adam Kilpatrick. Not going to allow the silliness to persist. Segrist tries to play it down that side, and they're going to call it an Orange County throw. Fans, do you support Orange County? Why not represent Orange County? A full range of new merchandise is now available. And all 2022 merch includes the new star on the logo, so you can rep the USL champions. Visit OCSCshop.com, OCSCshop.com. As they look to maybe pat on their lead here. Couple of moves being made. Played back into the center, but it doesn't go too far. We get our first look at Laurent Kisiedu, a substitute for Memphis.
How's your target man in 6'6" Albi Skendi right now, by the way? That's a center back that they've thrown up top to just find a way to have a big body produce an influence on this game. Richard Chaplow digging deep into the well to find a way to seek out and manage the 3 points that are dangling right in front of them like the beautiful carrot that is.
And they've got a corner kick, and this is the moments that you like having a guy like that up top. Chance to double their advantage. This corner kick coming your way. Orange County already with a 1-goal lead. Sitting bottom of the Western Conference, trying to keep the light at the end of the tunnel in focus as the service comes in. It's nodded away. Popped back into the center. And a whistle will keep that from progressing any further. Kisiedu tries to switch it over to Fernando. Plays it out wide. Here's a service into the middle. And ends up falling into the arms of Rakowski. But it was not too far from Goodrum. Just sort of boxing that ball out there. A lot of space over here on the left-hand side. Kelly with the ball now. Into the 18 he goes. That's well defended.
Run by Patrick Seegers just late. And everything is just a step off here for 901 FC in the second half. The overlapping run not there. Kisiedu had moved himself out, so when Fernando cuts in, he doesn't have the link-up play to easily find a way to step them to the next level. Got to knock a half a ball with a hope up over the top.
With all the wrongs you can have in the run of play, it just takes one good set piece to level the game back, and it won't be that one. Another player warming up for Orange County. We'll see if they get subbed on this break. Just heard the whistle. And we will get it. Tony Rocha coming in for Kevin Partita. And there it is, confirmed for you. Brought to you by MediQuit. So Partita's night is over. A lot of action early in this game. And now he'll make way for Rocha. Former USL League 2 champ. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. All the soccer you could ask for, a lot of other stuff too.
Still got to find some time to get to that other stuff.
Yeah. And that's not even just talking about live content either. I mean, there's just, it's a library of stuff to watch if you have the free time for it. Villanueva set free there, but was only free by tucking himself behind that back line. Time is winding. You know, for Memphis, that clock is going to start ticking in their head here soon if it hasn't already. Like you said, Devin, it just hasn't been clicking here in the second half. It just hasn't looked clean. Nothing has come easy.
Quick switch, quicker. Look at all the space. Like, that ball's got to come 2 seconds sooner. And he's so tucked into the inside. It's difficult now. You have to reset your position to the out. All of a sudden, everybody's chasing. The good news is you've established dominance possession-wise with a high line. The bad news is it's another opportunity pushed to the wayside.
And Dodson disguised that one. And couldn't quite be kept in play by Segrist. I commend the effort, but at the end of the day, it'll just be an Orange County throw. Buckmaster can't handle that one. Skendi still breaking down the pitch. He's just so big. That'll roll out for a corner kick. It's bouncing off of
It's amazing, yeah, just to watch him. He's just dropping right through players. I mean, good on him. The direction you're given coming in, it's real simple. Go be a bulldozer. They're going to play into you, just hold it up. Find a way to allow time for reinforcements to come and join you. They're not asking them to go score anything. If you can nick something here and there, fine. Otherwise, just be the guy when we need you to.
That header nowhere near goal. And they lofted into the stands on that corner bakery corner kick. USL is all for Republic. Tune in to the US Open Cup final as Sacramento Republic takes on Orlando City SC. Show your support using the hashtag #AllForRepublic on social media and watch the US Open Cup final September 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Olowski, Brian Olowski that is, into the 18. It's chipped into the middle now. It stayed in play. Another service inside, but will be cleared out. It's a nifty ball over to Fernando. Still going with it, and then it's taken down for a free kick from Memphis. 15 minutes to go, plus whatever stoppage time. Tony Rocha, the substitute. It's taken quickly. And none of that. Brian Olowski with some room to work with. Check that. That's Ian Hoffman. And he's able to win the throw in. Gets it deflected off of Kelly. Villanueva serves it in the middle. It came off of Skendi. And so did his man.
It's impossible not to hit the target. And I mean that in the sense of I'll be Skendi, maybe not the 8x8, and find an insurance goal to help your cause out here. just grinding along here. I would say that that's the other thing within this match is finding a way to go get a second goal to push you up. You don't want to let this 901 FC hang around. There's too much talent.
That one will sail over harmlessly on that corner bakery corner kick. So Leston Paul will make his way off the pitch. Handwala Buana will come in. And substitution brought to you by MediQuip. Another substitution adjustment made by Ben Pierman.
It's a massive pickup for Ben Pierman in terms of the depth that he's been able to provide, and the loanee from Nashville coming over. He's got the pedigree. Every single stop that he's been at, the coaches that I've spoken with, whether it was Brian Schmetzer and Gary Smith, talk about the ability for this player. The problem is probably trying to figure out exactly what his best position is, number one. We play him on the outside. I can remember when the Seattle Sounders were looking at him to be more of like a 6'8" type role, but the speed, the long legs, he's sort of grown into his body, a lot more comfortable on the width now, and he kind of glides through a game. He doesn't give you that massive explosion, but he's certainly got the speed enough, and he just kind of drifts in and out of these tight spots, always giving you ability with quality distribution on the back end of it.
Has 4 goals across 3 years with the Sounders, including on their 2019 MLS Cup run. As you already mentioned, was previously with Nashville this season, has 9 appearances from 2020 to 2022. As Luis Fernando has it over in that right-hand corner. Chance for some service. It'll come in. And they'll call a goal kick. Pings out of play for an Orange County throw. Another substitution warming itself up for Orange County SC. We'll wait to see if they execute the substitution here or if they'll hold for another dead ball. It looks to be the case. Tommy McCabe will have to wait a minute longer. Malloy. Over to Segrist. Hopeful ball inside, headed away. Malloy is taken down on the contact. Play goes on. He's already right back up. Villanueva sends it down the pitch. Hoffman gets his head on it. It's being bounced around back and forth between the two sides. More minutes plus stoppage time to go. Can Memphis find an equalizer? Buana tried to no-look thread that one through. There's actually Kisiedu.
I mean, they're pressed really high right now. Look at all the white shirts, and yet still.
Yeah, flag will go up, whistle blow.
I gotta find a way to play quicker into these outlet passes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you're inside 10 minutes to go. I get it, you're tired. The midweek game, the amount of games that you've had to manage and maneuver overall over the last 5 weeks. But how bad do you want this? Segrist can commit a little bit more. Derek, well, obviously now with the changes, you don't have that option, but you gotta find a way within any of the guys that are on the field. Henwala Bawana, the long legs that I just talked about, Kasiadu, play through them and play quick. Play direct. And if you can't play direct, that'll give you the ability to find more combination play underneath. But as you knock these long balls around the outside right there and move quicker in transition, that's what I'm talking about. There's so much more space to play into. And yet, why is it you and I are having a conversation every 10 minutes and we're seeing maybe one instance of that?
Yeah.
Right? It's mental fatigue as well that we haven't even talked about. It has nothing to do with talent or their inability to break a line down. They're just tired. And they're going through the motions right now, and Orange County recognizes it. Sitting on a 1-0 lead with just one foot in front of the other.
And here they come on the other side on the break. The shot just off the mark. Looking to put this one to bed. And if you wanted anybody to do it, you would think Milan Alaski would be the highest odds to do that.
It's close to it, though, and he's getting ready to take a seat. And the beautiful ball that was served to his brother. Little step over. Just catches it on the tail end of it. Trying to cut back across the ball to bring it to the bottom corner. Doesn't get the best connection on it. Spin to the outside. Name may not have ended up in lights, but still another quality shift for Milan Alaski and tack and assist onto it.
That substitution brought to you by MediQuip. Tommy McCabe makes his way into the game. As Orange County look to see this one out. As I just mentioned, Milan Alaski providing the assist to his brother before halftime. That still remains the only goal and the difference in this one. And there is the goal scorer. Couple whistles being blown here. Offside, the call. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Yellow card brought to you by Easy Fleet, given to the substitute Tony Rocha. His third yellow card of the season. Fernando provides the service in the middle, wide open on the volley! And how about that? A beautiful service and a confident one-timing finish. It's 1-1 here.
I told you, don't let him hang around. Off the chest, and then immediately goes back to work. Look at the vision by Fernando. Head up the entire way, checks the back post run, and watch Kelly. It's not even a blink in the eye. It's an afterthought that he's going for bottom corner for greatness, and the volley off the instep. 9 times out of 10, you see a player take this off the laces, it's up over top of the bar. Instead, 5 minutes to salvage 3 points.
Born in Prague, lived in France, had success with the University of North Carolina while in college. And Jeremy Kelly with his 7th goal of the season. Coming in huge for potentially a road point across the country on a short week from Memphis.
That's a heck of a finish, man. I just...
And here they come again. They can be hungry for more. Kelly. Still in play for Memphis. Another service swinging down. Villanueva will boot this one away. They've got one, now they're thinking 3 points. Segrist. Kelly will draw the foul there. An excellent ball from Luis Fernando in that goal as well. His 4th assist of the season.
It's off his chest, it's another touch. He then gets it fed back to him. Doesn't try and keep it. in that little pocket of space they ran on the far side. Instead, he knows that he's got to change the play, change the direction. As he pulls it back across his body, he's got the far post run perfectly positioned by Jeremy Kelly. But watch the actual finish. Again, as this comes across your body, it's more difficult to take it off the instep because your body, as it turns, it opens itself up and your body just comes across. You want to keep it in one pivot, a single pendulum coming across. Instead, you have to flatten your foot out to take this out of thin air. It takes some sting off of the ball and lets you control it more, but impressive nonetheless.
All right, careful there. Had a player coming in hot. Brian Olofsky took a clip there. Villanueva takes across midfield. We're trying to sit on that 1-goal lead this entire half, and I've seen it get taken away from them with 5 or so minutes to go. Now Hoffman able to connect with Kasipli. Is there a response in the works for Orange County? To create some space for the cross. Oh, will get knotted out of play. They can funnel it through again here. Kasipli, once again, switches it over that left-hand side. Here's some space, and here's a rolling cross. A ball sent centrally. And we've got a corner kick for Orange County. Ball comes in, flicked around off the left post. Margins from a second goal for Orange County.
That's certainly close. It's a heck of a ball whipped in, and how close is it? Double deflection. Danny Peterson can't believe it. How's the run to the near post? He's trying to flick it off. Even on the trailing run by Dylan Powers.
The home side. Now they're the ones pressing forward as we reach 90 minutes. Just a couple seconds from now, half a minute, and whatever stoppage time. As we see 2 more substitutions getting prepared for Memphis. We're at 4 minutes of stoppage time. A lot of chances for either of these teams to take the reins. So our first substitution, Derek Dodson out for Jackson Brady. It'll be just his 3rd appearance of the season, Brady, coming from the University of Memphis and Cal Poly. So interesting combination of both these locations. Substitution brought to you by Med Equip. And then Pickering in for Fernando. Brought to you by Med Equip. Will blast this up the pitch. 3 more minutes to go. Buckmaster slicing up the pitch, but Goodrum about a nautical mile offside. Slowed down after a spurt there after the goal. There's Hoffman. Do either of these teams have another quality chance in them in the next 2 minutes? Or are we going to be sharing points here tonight? Flag stays down. Goodrum goes to the ground. Gets tripped up again. Ref says it's all theatrics. Now Olowski gets tugged. He'll earn the whistle.
There's no penalty here. You're already leaning into it. A little fall over. That right there was a little bit more of a retaliation.
Certainly more could be said about that second contact than the first. And now we're going to get a free kick for the visiting side. 1 more minute before we see this one through. Malloy zips this one down the pitch, trying to find Goodrum. Still Memphis ball. Kelly. Service comes curling in. Rakowski has to dive a missile that was flying in. Now on the breakaway on the other side, Skendi can't bring that one down. Unless we see something here. Probably seeing the end of this one. And that will do it here. A 1-1 draw between Memphis and Orange County. A goal right before halftime for Brian Olowski, but then an 85th minute response. A beautiful cross from Luis Fernando, and then a cool, composed, confident finish from Jeremy Kelly to make it 1-1. So a goal will be shared, a point will be shared between Ben Pierman and Richard Chaplow. Now let's take a look at the incredible play of the game, brought to you by John's Incredible Pizza. And it's going to be that goal from the first half of action.
How can it not be the brothers of Olowski too? Milan to Brian. What a strike this was. What a press, what a ball, and how about the finish? Unfortunately for Orange County, it's going to end up as 1 point once again. But understand the fact and effect that the Olowski family has had on this organization this season. Would have loved to have had this combination early on, if not for injury to Brian, but they're back and they're better than ever.
It is certainly clicking here, and maybe it can act as a catalyst for this post or end of the season run that they're looking to conjure up as we look at Brian Olowski, our California Performance Man of the Match. A goal scorer as he rehydrates and maybe with a little bit of frustration sees his team to a point. And we still got a little bit more to discuss after this break. We'll see you on the other side. Your final score, though, 1-1 between these two teams. Some late game drama from Memphis. Was able to scrounge a point on the road. But at the end of the day, it's 1 goal apiece between these two sides. And we'll wrap this all up here on the other side of this break.
I'm here at Pro Code, the official training partner of Orange County Soccer Club.
Every athlete knows they have more potential inside them. At Pro Code, we provide a custom training plan so you can unlock that full potential and perform your best when it matters most.
Here in Irvine, there's something for everyone. You can satisfy your sweet tooth here or here. Cool off with freshly picked berries or catch some rays. Get some post-worthy views or rock out with your friends. Raise your adrenaline or just relax. It's master planned with you in mind. Irvine awaits.
Back post run, header down and in! Rakowski got a piece. Asante turns. Rakowski gets up. Orange County strikes first.
Orange County SC and Memphis 901, your final score 1-1 between these two sides. As we look to close things out here, Mark Schoenster alongside me, Devin Kerr, as we look at our save of the game brought to you by UHSM. And it's Rakowski on this free kick.
As to whether or not this is headed into the bottom corner, we will never know. But most importantly, the man with the plan, the German, Rakowski, was such an influential figure last year, leading them to that victory. Of course, the penalty save in the final against the Rowdies. He's been Mr. Consistent this year, especially as of late. This one might have ended up in the back of the net. Instead, pushed to the side, and they kept it at 1-0.
And let's look at our Blue Star Group full-time highlights, and we'll start with that wonderful goal and effort from Milan Alaski to Brian Alaski.
Earlier this year, I asked Richard Chaplow when Milan was going on his run, I said, what does he need to work at? And he said it's the team pressure and his ability to get involved defensively. We haven't seen enough of it, and that's what's going to help round out his game. Well, guess what? That's exactly what played out here. When he drops down in, simple enough, you close off the passing lanes, but more importantly, he provided pressure, which gave an extension up top. You don't expect the deep lying run on the right-hand side to come from this Alaski brother. You're looking for Milan. It's Brian. It's 1-0 Orange County. 901 FC, I told you, you cannot let this team hang around. It doesn't matter if they're down 2-0 or 3-0 or they're up 1-0. They're going to find a way at the end of a game to make an impact. It comes from a beautiful ball by Luis Fernando, an even better finish by Jeremy Kelly. Dotson was the wild card coming in. Little cutback, he's smart. Doesn't try and do too much. Lets Fernando go to work. Kelly finishes it off. He's usually dishing out. Instead, sticks it in the back of the net and gets them to 1-1, and at least they get a point out of the road trip.
As we look at the full-time stats between these two sides, if you're an expected goals kind of person, Orange County had the advantage at 1.66 to Memphis's 0.73. Certainly would be the more disappointed of the two sides with the way the result ended. Memphis will be happy to have scrounged a point on the road, especially given their tight turnaround and taking a loss on Wednesday, being able to go across the country, get a point, and keep things going as they push forward, as they race for the top of the table in the Eastern Conference. But for us here tonight, that'll do it for us from Championship Soccer Stadium. For our entire broadcasting crew, Devin Kerr, I'm Mark Schoenster saying thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic night. We'll see you next time here on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.